Okay. All right. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I appreciate everyone taking the time out of their day for being here once again for another week of just casual conversations. In the room today, we've got our guests, Layvan. What's up, dude?
Assaulted.
And we've got Mr. Dead GG. Thanks for being here, Mr. Dead.
Thanks, around.
So, if you guys are not familiar with these guys here, these guys are also streamers and Laven making some YouTube contents as well. If you guys want to check out some more of these players and creators in the directory, links for everyone is going to be included in the description down below. So last week we were discussing some more personal topics around creators' opinions on what it's like to be a BDO creator in the directory, as well as the current experience of being a BDO partner. If you guys are interested in hearing more on that conversation, I will make sure that that episode is also included in the info card at the top right hand side of the screen if you're watching from YouTube. And welcome everyone who might be listening right now in everyone's live stream. What's up? Let's get some freaking O slashes in chat. Thanks for you guys' ear holes today. So this week has been kind of insane. I hope you guys have had some good results from this week as well. And it's going to be rewarded to the people who are more actively playing this game right now. So this week we experienced the Arsha drop rate increase, the 50% increase drop rate event that has made quite the dent for some players who have been chunking away. So my question to you guys, starting us off, is how's the grind been treating you guys? How's this event been going for you guys? And have you guys been making any progress yourselves?
I love it and I hate it.
Okay, why do you love it?
It's nice for a lot of players because it rewards people for being active, for sure. But as someone who grinds almost specifically on Arsha, Arsha is completely dead. Like, I literally go to every zone to look for any fights or PvP, and every single zone is 100% empty.
Why do you really? I'm kind of surprised to hear that. I was thinking of going to Arsha last night, but I didn't do it because, I mean, no point, I guess.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess if every channel is Arsha, why would you go to Arsha, right?
Yeah.
What's stopping you
To
from going
fight.
to other channels then? And like fighting people?
I do, but they just channel swap instantly.
Yeah, Arsha really offered that
Even if
whole
it's groups
risk
with people.
reward, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's
Yeah.
that risk reward for being on Arsha and like fighting for your spot, and then with the event going on, there's not going to be a lot of people that are willing to fight over it because it's like, man, I could just hop to any channel, right?
Mm-hmm. It's kind of surprising that during these events they don't give like extra love to Arsha. Like even if it was a 25% increase from what it already originally is. Do you think that'd be something that would be beneficial to the experience and still not like be distasteful to players in the community maybe who can't necessarily hold themselves there in areas on those servers?
They should. Pretty much every event is always catered to Joe Schmo, average BDO player who just logs in every now and then. I feel like it's pretty rare to have events tailored to like any specific group, even if it's like the same event divvied out in different ways. So like a good example is this event. Make every channel Arsha, sure. But turn Arsha, give it an extra 25% for the PvPers. Shit like that.
Yeah, it's enough to give that little bit of reward for actually being in that channel. I mean, kind of on a similar subject, I guess, not really pertaining to the event, but I always thought that there should be a benefit for being a red player as well, where you get the Arsha buff on any channel if you're red. That would be cool.
Oh, that'd be
Yes,
sweet.
please.
Dude, I'd actually be so rich. Pog. It's an amazing idea choice.
That'd be sweet.
I never thought
Even
about
if
that.
it was just in specific areas like the desert, because the desert you have the mark of the bandit, and I don't know. I like that idea.
The only reason I'm not red anymore is because crystals are so expensive. If everything was Arsha, then why not?
Yeah, ever since they kind of released that Arsha channel, there's been very little benefit to being red in the first place because, you know, you can PvP at free will without being red. So you just go to Arsha and have your fun there. So being red really is just super punished right now, and there's really no love that they have to it.
Yeah, which makes it worse is red people, they still get the penalties on Arsha channel, which makes
Yeah, see
no
that
sense.
I find that so silly.
Yeah.
Because like even honestly, it would make sense too. Like if someone, let's just say, was getting karma bombed, whatever, and in that situation they go red, then it's like fuck. It should force that person to go to the Arsha server unless they are willing to lose their crystals. It's like screw it. I'll stay here and farm this guy for who's karma bombing me, whatever. And then eventually, like, maybe someone else shows up and they get away or whatever. It's like, okay, you know what, fuck it. I should go to Arsha right now. I'm not willing to lose all my stuff here. Because even if, and then they go to Arsha and then they gotta, fight people who could be well outside their gear score at least. But, they put themselves in that situation. Because, like, to be on Arsha, yeah. And, like, if you are red, clearly, I mean, we all know how the fuck you got there.
Yeah, but in terms of the like the whole event you're talking about, Fake, I personally haven't been taking too much time out of my day to like farm lately. I feel like this event it was almost too soon after the last one.
Yeah.
So they recently did a 50% drop rate event, maybe what, 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, even
yeah.
Yeah, and so like during that event, I'm like, wow, this is a rarity. Like they don't come out with these very often. I better farm really hard. And I made like 12 bill in that week and farmed several hours.
Nice.
And then now we have another week that comes out and it's like, okay, well, I'm pretty burnt out about that whole 1 week. I feel like I just kind of want to chill. And I've just been like doing random stuff, gathering, working on horse gear, whatever, just not really worrying too much about it. So it'd be kind of nice if they like we're paying attention to what events they just had and maybe like mixing it up with a bit of like, not everybody wants to grind all the time. So having spaced out events for different aspects of the game would be nice to just take advantage of.
Yeah, I agree. Especially with the new life skill system. They could have done a pretty cool life skill event.
Yeah, with Manos just coming out too. And then great C content coming up soon. So
yeah, next week.
So I mean that's a good point, or a good thing to bring up, just with having the recent grinding event as well. Because my question to you guys is, how is your initial reaction when grinding events like these are added? Because I know not everyone's gonna love it.
I don't know why anybody would have a problem with it. Any content is good content to an extent, especially with a game that lacks thereof, that lacks a lot of content. So I mean, yeah, anything that brings players to play, to grind more people to kill, fight, it's not bad.
I will say that it was pretty decent timing, I guess, because I'm assuming the reason they wanted to put out this event is because they just released the new grind spot, and everybody's going for those new Elcar crystals. So it really kind of like helped to have the drop event throughout the week, given that those crystals are pretty obscenely rare in the first place. So that's probably what they were going for.
Have you been down in the new area lots, Choice?
I was there for about 13 or 14 hours,
Wow.
and then I finally got my second crystal, and then I was just out of there. So I feel like this spot is kind of a weird location, to be honest. Like high DP requirements, low AP requirements, very odd.
Do you think it's DP capped? I've had this conspiracy that maybe it's DP capped, and every DP you get after that like does a minimal amount of damage reduction for you. I don't know. I had this weird conspiracy that people say you need a lot more DP. My question is, it like, I don't know. I haven't been there yet.
No.
I haven't checked it out at all yet, so I've yet to experience
That
it.
choice takes no damage there.
I mean, yeah, I can pretty much stand in the mobs and HP pots recover me for the most part. And then I also tried soft cap gear, and it's like, okay, yeah, it's time to start paying attention. So,
Gotcha. And then it's AP capped itself. So what's like average trash per hour looking like for yourself after that amount of hours? If
you're on like loot scroll and you're tryharding, you can get around like 4.8k to like maybe possibly 5k if you're like a very, very fast grinding class. Not even necessarily due to your like abilities, but just being able to pull the packs together and get to packs really quickly. So I feel like maybe Musa's might be Musa's Lawns might be some of the best classes to grind there. And since it is AP capped, it's like nothing to do with anything other than just pure grinding ability that your class has.
What's the value of the trash?
It is 8K.
8,000.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's the
that's
same
it.
as Mansions.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, weird. Okay.
My
Yeah, it's got a
Mesa-
very high rate of like tongue grad earrings, though. I think my average was like almost 1 an hour for tongue grad earrings.
Oh,
That's why
interesting.
it crashed pretty bad.
Interesting. So I guess with trailing into the new spot here, would you say it's a competitive spot to Mansions? Like, what AP would you recommend for it? Do you think it'd be a spot for someone who's like going to Mansions? They could have the option between Mansions and the this new area, or do you think they'd need a little bit more AP for it?
I think the problem
I
is
would-
that the AP is fine, right? But it's just that
They
it
hit
is
so
more
hard.
dangerous than history even.
No, no, I got you. I
It's
got
not
you.
that far from Sakurai in terms of how much damage they deal to you. So
Oh,
for players that
interesting.
might be like,
Oh.
I'm going to move from here, from Akhman, and then I'm going to use this as a stepping stone before I go to Histria. Well, you know, ideally these players aren't going to have that DP, right? Because they're not going to have
Yeah.
the DP because they usually build AP only and then
No, I
have
gotcha,
soft
I
cap DP
gotcha.
at best.
I need to give this spot a visit. I didn't realize the damage is actually that severe.
It's an unnecessary risk for reward there, especially because if you die, then I mean you're out of it, and you just wasted a 15 million claw
Hmm.
to get in. So you're better off just going Mansions, getting the Caphras that you're going to need eventually anyway, plus a lot of other like really decent drops, and pretty
Yeah.
much no chance of dying at all.
And if
Well,
you
that's
can
what
grind
my-
there, you can do Akhman history and make way more.
True.
Same
Yeah.
stats.
My concern was the exact same as Enfield's. Like pretty much summing up exactly what he said is just like it's kind of a spot just tailored to nobody in a really odd way because you need more DP than soft cap, and you could just go to history at soft cap with very similar AP requirements anyway. So
The way it's designed, it feels like a spot that should have been what Histria is, but then Histria should be what like they were looking for, like the 250 AP cap newer people. Meaning, it'd be cool if that spot was kind of like Sakraya, because it doesn't make sense for a new player to spend 15 mil to get into a spot that they're probably going to die at. It'd be kind of cool to see an end game spot where, hey, pay 30 mil, 15 mil to get in, but hella risk reward. You're going to make a lot of money here. It's super difficult. The mobs hit hard. More of like an end game spot. It'd be cooler as an end game spot than it is like, yeah, a tailor to nobody spot.
As someone who hasn't even gone to the new spot yet, my initial thought of like hearing like the feedback from it was I thought it was going to be the spot you go to before you go to Histria. That was my initial thought, and I was so wrong.
Yeah, it's
think
designed
that-
like the opposite. It's weird.
I mean, the only advantage might be like for players that don't have high AP, but maybe have invested in some Caphras in their Ted armor already, but their AP isn't that high, and maybe they think if like the Korean server, for some reason that crystal is worth 300 million or 200 plus million, 300 million, I can't remember how much on the Korean server still, which is weird because the corrupted crystal went down in price so much, and the corrupted crystal is way more useful. That crystal would have been really cool, the Elcar one, if it added precision, or if it changed the precision to add more ignore resistance, but it adds a tiny little bit of all accuracy. So it's like a little bit of accuracy you get from this crystal. If it was ignore resistance, I think it would be super pog.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not entirely sure why it's worth as much as it is on Korea, aside from rarity, because A, like Choi said, he grinded a long time just to get 2, and B, the fact that, I guess the spot isn't that desirable to grind as it is, as we've discussed already, the reasons why.
Mm-hmm.
So, but if the crystal is worth 200 to 300 million, then maybe there might be some players that think, well, this could be worth it for the chance at a pretty decent. It's like basically getting a distortion earring at a much lower AP requirement spot. So if they have some Caphras in their Ted armor, then maybe in that case it might actually be worth it. But otherwise, I'm not sure.
So, what do you think it's going to hit on NA EU, the price? Have you guys developed any sort of price speculation? And then over time, like the corrupt crystals, like they dropped a dramatic amount. Do you think that these accuracy crystals are going to have a similar effect?
I personally don't. I think that the crystals are going to stay very similar to what KR is, and whatever max price is, I expect it to stay there for quite a while, because at the end of the day, the spot is just so weird that end game players are not going to grind there. Mid game players are not going to prefer to grind there because, 2 crystals in 14 hours, I consider that lucky personally. Like, that's how rare they are. And, sure, the Tunger Doings are great, but with such a low base trash loot amount and just dropping a modest amount of forbidden books as like other tertiary drops, like, I don't know. I'm not exactly thrilled at the spot, and it's also very annoying to grind at, given the fact that the mobs CC with almost like every single attack. So it's
Oh,
it's
really?
not a very good spot.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
pretty easy to get chain CC'd.
Oh, wow. Sounds awful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty much
so it's just
anybody
really
who wants the
weird.
crystals are just gonna go grind there themselves, and then they're gonna fuck off, and so there's not gonna be any in the market, I would assume.
Yeah,
Never
it's,
had
it's
one
purely a
night.
supply thing.
So I can imagine your feeling of when you were done was, thank fucking God, I'm out of here.
Well, some people that were motivated to go for it, like they're like, yeah, these crystals are like, let's be honest, they are direct upgrades to best in slot crystals. That's why they're so expensive. I mean, it might not have the ignore resist like Anfield was saying, but like the extra accuracy is just a direct upgrade. Everybody should be running precisions in my mind in almost every single build, except maybe like even if you're a DP build, you're running precisions, so your CCs go off more. So it's like just the best in slot crystal, and direct upgrade makes a lot of sense why it would be so desired, and it's so expensive because nobody wants to grind in those locations, and there's new players that are not going to grind in the locations because of just how weird the DP requirements are compared to AP.
So
Yeah, I think the rarity will keep the price high. I mean, that's what it comes down to. I wouldn't personally spend that much money on one. If they dropped to 20, 30 million, I would buy one, but I don't care that much about that. I would rather
that
spend my
little of
money doing other
accuracy.
things. So it's all accuracy as well. So like if you don't know that if something lists as all accuracy, it means it's actually a lot less than what it's listed as, because it refers to accuracy applying to each different type of damage: magic damage, range damage, melee damage, etc. So, yeah.
And then
I'd spend 500 mil if it meant I didn't have to go back there again.
oh, did you buy yours, you said? I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
No, it took me a similar amount of hours, and I've had viewers that have spent 20, 40, 50 hours and still haven't gotten one.
Oh my God.
So if I had to pay 500 mil if it meant I never go back there, I'd be happy to do it.
Yeah, same.
That's interesting to hear because I thought there'd be a little bit more hype built around this spot. So my question with grinding this week and just this event is, do we know if this event, the grinding event, is going on for 1 or 2 weeks? And then my second question would be, what have been your favorite spots this week to grind if have been grinding?
I don't actually know if it's going on for 2 weeks, but I would assume it's 1 week. I hope it's 1 week.
I hope it's 1 week too.
Yeah, I'm
the
pretty sure it's
market-
1 week. It should be over on Wednesday.
Yeah, and I guess my favorite spot, I suppose, since I haven't really been grinding that much, I did do the whole like getting the Elkhart crystal thing. That's really all I've been grinding. So I guess there, but I just prefer Sakurai way more.
I personally have been
Star's
at
End.
I've been at Star's End as well, pretty much solely Star's End.
You got 3 distortions in 1 hour. How many earrings have you had
I
past
did.
that?
I've had one other, so in total, I'd say probably in total of like 4 hours, 5 hours of grinding, I've gotten, yeah, pretty much an earring an hour for the most
Wow.
part.
Jeez,
Yeah.
I wish my luck was like that in Stars
Well,
End
they're all
anyways.
gone now, so you can feel better.
You go for Tet Distortions, Layvan?
No, I'm going for Tungrad, but those are blowing up.
Oh, sheesh.
That's just easy money while I'm here. What I'd normally do is I get distortions and then I turn them into prize and sell them.
And it's still 70%. Like the odds are still the same for distortions, right?
Yep, 70. I pushed out to like around 72%.
On
Super
like a
easy.
2021 stack.
Yeah. So I mean, easy 800 mil an hour.
Okay, let's pick on some gripes, guys. We got a new UI here. What do you guys think? You guys like it?
Love hate.
Same.
So
Talking to NPCs and doing quests is like the worst things ever.
it's
But like
so
the added functionality is actually super nice.
it's so weird. Yeah, like the feel of it feels so smooth, and it feels so like the interaction and interactive experience feels on par, but I don't know how you guys feel, but fuck me, this it feels so lazy. Like I talked to an NPC and there's some screens that just look inconsistent, feel inconsistent. The design of it feels like there's just some pages and parts that just feel poor. It feels like they gave up. It's just a bar and text, and it's so inconsistent. I see one UI on one screen, I see the PC UI on another screen. I swear to God, there's still fucking bits and pieces of the first UI or old UI laying around somewhere. For myself, it feels just tremendously inconsistent, and I question if slowly over time we're going to keep getting pushed like new little bits and pieces. Like, oh, this screen finally got finished. Oh, this screen finally got finished. Hey, look, the new UI is finally fully rolled out.
I like the new UI. I've been super surprised at all the hysteria around it. I don't like. There's a couple things that definitely I had to get used to again because the buttons moved around or like the sequence of things that you do moved around. But um, it's a direct improvement to like some serious things that the UI was lacking before, like your ability to turn in line for energy. You can do that in a full stack now. I mean, there's little things like that. The horse UI is way better, connecting horses to wagons and doing all
Yeah.
that stuff.
Talk to me.
Managing those windows, it's much better than before. So I mean, there's some stuff like that could probably be a little bit more intuitive, like how you turn in quest items to NPCs.
Mm-hmm.
I think that got a little bit more confusing than it was before, but overall, I'm really surprised at how much negativity the UI is getting. I feel like people are kind of just mad because something changed and they have to get used to it again.
Yeah.
That's
I
completely
agree.
Glad the
fair to
heart of
say.
sight can people that are hard of sight can finally use the UI. That's what I'm happy about. Just a lot of wasted space for me. It's huge for no reason. And some of the stuff that really needed improvement, they lacked. You know, our friends list is actually, if you open that up, press N, it's still the exact same. So there's no change in that. And it's still the most useless friends list I think of in any MMO ever. The guild UI didn't change at all. There could have been huge improvements to the guild UI. We discussed it on different podcasts that they could have done with this update. All they did is they reskinned it, made it huge. And I mean, there were some things, like Moreland pointed out, that were improved, although there's other things that were made worse. So it's kind of a trade-off and more neutral on that overall. I don't know. It's very, I don't know. It just feels
Didn't
very bland and huge and for no reason.
didn't they say that they haven't released it all yet? They're still working on other ones or other parts of it they're going to be releasing. This isn't the final
Yes.
release
This
of the new UI.
This is news to me. I have no idea. Talk to me.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not, this isn't a full release of the new UI. It's just pieces of it. So whatever hasn't changed is most likely going to be changed. So it's, also, like what's too big in your opinion? Because I have complaints for sure, but like what is too big?
Have you opened some of these windows? It's like
Yeah.
almost your whole screen.
I'm asking
You
you to give
can't
me an
scale it.
example though. So I can
I don't
like
know.
play off of it, you know?
I'm on a ship right now. Hang on.
I think some of the design feels like some screens it's like almost catered for mobile.
Well, it's the console sort of type of UI that they're going for because they don't want to make two different. It takes more development time to make a PC UI and a console UI, so everything has to be big for controllers. They specifically said that they didn't want to make two different UIs because it was too much work, so that they want to make one UI that's unified between the console versions and the PC variants of the game. So that's why we have this UI now, is because it's going to be easier to have that on console rather than a smaller sort of UI that it's more precise and uses less space, that will be more PC, like with a mouse you can control and be more precise. I don't know. It just, for me, I don't know. If you look at everything, it's like the windows are huge and they don't, even if your UI window is, or sorry, your resolution is large, like 1440p kind of thing, it's still huge, which is weird as well. And there's no like other than the menu, which can be kind of scaled in a weird way, you can't scale it at all. Or the other windows, sorry, as far as I can find. So I don't like it, but
Yeah, I mean it's a good complaint. It's exactly the problem that Skyrim had when it was ported over to PC. Is the menus were designed specifically for console, and that's why like the most downloaded mod on for Skyrim is the new UI. Is like a more PC friendly UI. The biggest thing for me is just they really need to learn how to fucking add customizable options for the menus in an MMO because they're catering to hundreds and hundreds and well, I mean thousands and thousands of people, and it's not difficult to just give somebody the freedom to make something a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller. That's the biggest complaints I have is some things require extra steps I never had needed extra steps before. And then the second thing is yeah, they just need to give you more customizable options. Like why is it 3 years into the game and we just now got the ability to move the stamina bar? Hello?
We can move the stamina bar now.
Yeah, dude.
yes, it's great.
Can
It's
you
like when
believe
they
it?
did the buff bar
Wait, what?
finally.
That's news
You
to
can
me.
move your stamina bar.
Oh my god,
you-
what? You
Yeah.
can! I didn't notice
I-
that.
After 3 long years. It's like why? That's got to be one of the easiest things in the universe to fix. Like just let us customize more shit, please.
I would really love it if the health and WP mana whatever bar you could have options between standing it horizontally and vertically.
Yeah, and that's like a simple line.
Yeah.
That's like just simple coding they could add in. It'd take an afternoon. Like doesn't make sense.
How difficult would it be to have the client be able to be modded UI wise? Is that something that would be too?
I'm not sure.
Because
I mean,
once you could have players do it, then they don't even have to put any work into it. Just build a
Exactly.
basic UI and let other people do the work for you.
Mm-hmm. People
their
would
engine has to be
love
made
that
with like
too.
duct tape and hopes and dreams or something. Because it just makes sense for an MMO to have more customizable options.
Some of the big things too with being able to have this UI and not having so many hands to work on, let's say, between 2 different projects here, it's going to free hands up in the office. And I'm hopeful. Do you guys I'm hopeful myself that with some of the things that they're adjusting, I'm hoping that it's going to make an impact that can positively affect the gameplay and experience that we have over here. I'm more fearful though, like it's going to be very catered for console mobile because I think PC is like one of their. Is it wrong to say like just I guess weakest clients, if you will, in the sense in terms of like budget, like it's just a lower budget gain for them because like I think isn't console producing and mobile producing more than what PC is.
Mobile definitely is. I don't think console is, but mobile definitely is.
Console, yeah, I wouldn't say I would agree completely. Mobile isn't a hard argument. Not even a hard argument. I mean, it's an easy argument. Look at Blizzard. Hello. Of course, mobile makes way more money.
What, you don't have a phone?
Yeah, exactly. So they just need to be careful. But
yeah, and I mean, I don't necessarily mind the new UI. I'm kind of like the same thing with Morlin, and like on the same topic of what you guys are just talking about. If we have to have a mobile or an Xbox BDO UI on PC, which is essentially what we have, they're kind of by producing content for PC, they're sort of now producing content for Xbox in a way, future content, and so everything kind of works together harmoniously now. Where the development time that they spend on a piece of PC content is eventually going to be development time they don't need to spend on Xbox because that'll eventually be a future update for them. And so I like the idea that all of our UIs are, now in sync working together between PS4, Xbox, and PC. I think there were some improvements. Like I'm kind of on team. I like it more than the old UI, but I do agree with you guys. There are some issues with it. And I do think that scaling is a problem, especially with like different monitors. I know people are having a nightmare with like 4K and 2K monitors. It seems like it was developed purely for like somebody that's on a 1080p monitor. But overall, I like the idea that there's hotkeys on a lot of your stuff. And so you're able to like open up a menu, hit a certain number, and boom, it just opens that right up. That's kind of a quality of life we never used to have. I don't know. I'm not doom and gloom. It's something to get used to. I do think that the new escape menu is tremendously gross looking, and I hate it. But I always use the old menu anyway, so that's kind of an aspect of BDO that I never really had to deal with. So as long as you're using the old menu, I feel like it's not so bad.
Damn. I'd want you to criticize anything. Like, you're the nicest person to criticize. It's kind of gross looking, and I hate it. But like, you delivered it in a way that like
I just want to
I
hug
would have
you.
felt okay about it. You know, like if I
Yeah.
made a video and you'd be like, kind of gross looking, and I hate it, and I'd be like, okay. You know.
Oh God.
Yeah, you gotta
All the
keep
added
positive spin on
function.
stuff, you know.
All the added functionality is actually really nice, though. Like, can we talk about actually having a search button for storages?
Wasn't
Like,
there?
I use that thing all the time now.
I thought like, but
He's saying there is.
sorry,
He's, like,
yeah,
glad
but
there
like it
is.
doesn't
Yeah.
work fully though. Like you can't, like it'll tell you where the item is though, right? Like, but you can't
Yeah, it
click
will
on
highlight
it and it brings you to it. Can it? Or am I just a full
No,
papega here?
it still takes you to inventory, but it highlights it so it's easy to see. So it could still be improved upon, but just having it, something that should have been in the game.
Hopefully
forever
we
ago.
do. God, I spend way too much time in Sakai from this grind event. I haven't even like looked at the search function in storage. God, what
And
if I
for
just?
Oh, yeah,
enhancing
that's
too,
nice.
like repairing reblack and doing all that stuff, it saves you so much time.
Yeah, I will say I'm a fan of like buying costumes and then having them melted down after getting them on the marketplace because you can do them out now in a bundle as well, and it doesn't auto. I was always so confused why it auto made you select Valks first over Krons when Krons is like a more favorite thing that I find that majority of players want. So it's just nice that there's no automatic option even for you to like make these mistakes, because I've noticed like little things in the functionality of remove these barriers and errors for mistake, you know, going to the enhancing window and you're using way too high of a stack, type in the stack number before using this. So it's like if you are willing to type in the number and you lose that stack, there's literally no way you're going to get that back from customer service. It's like you type
Yeah, I'm
this
glad the
in.
pay to win is smoother too. Just kidding.
I'm not.
I can melt my costumes.
I bought them off the marketplace, man.
Thank you, PA.
I got lucky. I had one day where someone like posted all the outfits for one particular outfit, and then I was like, "Oh, my outfit got bought. I'll place an order on another one." And sure enough, someone like dumped a bunch of them, so there were a bunch of them just on buy. I just had a bunch of silver, so it was just yoink, yoink, yoink. Easy. So now we have, I believe, next week. We can talk about it now. Next week we're supposed to have the new ocean content. Have any of you guys been looking into this at all? Any of
Yes,
you
I'm
guys?
looking at it right now.
Tell me more. Do we? I know there's supposed to be
looks
the new
beautiful.
upgraded Alkstone that's supposed to be coming with this as well. Do we know if that's coming on the next patch
No,
release?
that was only in the database. We don't
Oh.
actually know anything to do with that.
Oh, okay.
It was just found in the database.
No, they talked about it.
Presumably, it could... did they?
Yeah, they did.
We're talking the new alchemy stone, not the con
The
thing,
sun
right?
one.
The guild one. We're talking
Yeah.
about the Vel with splendid stats.
Yes.
Really?
Have they mentioned
Have you
anything
haven't heard
about
of
that,
this?
Laven? Because I'm pretty sure they
I,
haven't.
to be honest with you,
They
I am
didn't-
a. Go ahead.
They didn't talk about the Vel's Fun stats. I was talking about Con.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, the con one is the guild one. What
Mhm.
Fake was talking about was the Vel's Heart, but with splendid alchemy stats, which is by far insane. I mean, that's what is that 3% increase in attack speed at least? Not to mention the other stats it would bring. So that would be huge. But as far as we know, it's only in the database. We are getting that guild one.
What's a guild one supposed to do?
It's like a discount Vel. It's just
There's 3 types of it though, which is the cool part.
Oh,
But yeah,
really?
you get protection of life as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so basically there's an AP one which it gives 1 sheet AP, and then less stats than the normal Vels does. And then there's a protection one which gives 1 sheet DP, and then the stats are less than a resplendent protection. And then the only one that's of mention in my opinion would be, depending on how easy it is to get, of course, because if for lower gear players it might actually be good to get the weaker ones. But anyway, there's a life one, which is actually pretty good. I can't recall the stats on it. However, I know that it's on BDO Planner if you're like a Patreon or whatever, so you can look up the stats there. Yeah, it's a new Lifestone.
Oh.
but it's actually really good. The other ones aren't really able to be held up to like Vel or like a Resplendent Protection, but the new Lifestone is from it is actually pretty good. Coming from my memory, but you can. It's very easy to double check me on like BDO Planner, and I believe it might have mastery on it too, which is like the big thing. So
Oh,
'cause
really?
right now you can only get extra mastery
Oh yeah,
from
25
seafood.
mastery in chat is what they're saying. Oh, that's yeah, that's mandatory.
Yeah, so that's really good. Because the seafood cron is like 25 mastery, so that's 50 mastery right there, and that can hit you a new bracket pretty fucking easily.
I mean, that's like having a Tet Monos instead of a Tri. That's the same delta. So that's
Yeah.
big. Real.
Now, this is one thing I didn't look into. Have they? So this it's a guild boss, but have they said how you summon the guild boss? Is it random? Is it timed? Is it
Scroll,
um?
that
I
I
don't
don't know.
Okay.
And then are we supposed to be looking at the new ships next week as well? Like, how much do we know how much ocean content is going to be brought out, or if this is going to
Yeah.
be released in episodes?
There is a second part to this, but we'll get the full ships. Like I'm sailing one of the carracks right now, so with all the 4 carracks we'll get, but I guess it would take a long time to make one. So, but we can make the upgraded versions of the sailboat and the frigate, and then you get a further upgrade, and then you can make the carracks. The sailboat has 2 carracks, and then the frigate has 2 carracks, and they all look the same except the prow is different for each one, and then obviously they have different stats. So. And they look really good. They don't have oars, thank God.
Yeah, I'm not too big into current ocean content, though I do have an Etheria sailboat and I do have a frigate as well. Is it safe to ask, like, what would be the beneficial gain for upgrading the boats that I have? Like, what would I benefit from doing such given tasks? Other than having a bigger boat, am I going to be sea monster hunting faster? Am I going to be? Is this going to help? You know, any potential war situations dependent on certain placements?
So like I've heard that with the new ocean content that sea monster hunting is gonna die, and I think that's because they're like changing the way that sea monster hunting is gonna work. I think you lose durability when you ram a sea monster now, like on your boat.
Mm-hmm.
Not just like stamina, but you also lose health, I think. And the new way is going to be auto firing cannons from the sides of your boat, and
Oh.
it's just a much slower way or something like that. And so, like, I don't think sea monster hunting is really going to be a huge benefit, but I do think that it opens up some more fun aspects of like naval warfare. And I assume that these boats are going to be much quicker and perhaps have a higher storage, like amount of LT that you can store on the boat for the new trading content that's going to be in the on the high seas and whatever. So I'm kind of looking forward to it, but I don't know much about it. I'm sort of the person that likes to be surprised by updates, so I don't really go out of my way to like look ahead and see what's coming out for the most part.
I really hope we actually get a global lab someday so that we can all be surprised by this stuff instead of, you know, just looking at KR for 2 months and having all the kind of magic taken away.
Too true.
I mean, you don't want to learn about something and see it like 9 months later.
I think we had this discussion on the very first podcast about the fact that it sucks to have to look at all this content for like, it'd be like if World of Warcraft released BFA in one region and then everyone else had to wait like 8 months looking through all the content by the time they actually got to play it. It's absurd. So
I mean, yeah, there's a bigger
my
difference
biggest fear
between
about
feeling like, you know,
Odalita.
oh yeah, it's finally here, as compared to, oh my god, like look what they just put into the game.
Yeah.
That's what was cool about Savage Rift. I don't think anybody knew it was coming, and it just like they dropped it on us, and it was just like, wow, that's fun, like, amazing content. We didn't know it was coming out. It's like pretty pog to have something surprise you on patch day.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Rather than, oh my god, we've seen this in Korea for so long. Finally, NA has been magically blessed. We are not worthy. So what do you think's coming up next? Because this event
I'm in
is supposed to be
that, not Savage Rift.
3... Wasn't this like a 3-week event, or is it a 4-week event? So it's going to be, then we have the drop rate event, then the next week's going to be the Great Expedition, and I guess the following week is going to be this. You said it's in 2 chapters, Anfield, or 2 episodes here, 2 parts.
Sorry, which one are we talking about?
The Great
Expedition?
Expedition. Yeah.
Yeah, as far as I know, it's 2. We don't know much about the second one. There's some Korean-looking ship that we don't have,
Hmm.
so that could be a guild boat or something. And then there's they mentioned something about a blue battlefield, which is like where you battle with fleets of ships. So that's the only thing I know.
Battle with fleets of ships. God.
Blue battlefield. Oh,
Be kind of interesting if this Great Expedition content comes out, and next thing you know, we can do wars on nodes in the ocean, like naval battles, but it'd be actually, let's say, because like to shoot another boat with a cannon from a frigate or whatever and deal damage to another one, it's just so small. And I question what the like PvP with a boat, if sciencing it, would look like, and I question like for future speculation, I wonder if there would be ever a chance for actual naval combat, and then I don't really know what you'd gain from holding a node like that or what you could do, but it'd be interesting to see. It's definitely interesting to think about. Don't think that would happen though.
That's something that could definitely be tried, but
they should make it so we can fire cannons at Medaya Castle from a boat.
I mean, that would be pretty cool.
mm,
Yeah.
Honestly.
Too high up, you'd have to be able to adjust the height of the cannon to hit it. But you can hit things with they shoot quite far. Like I've been shooting this Carrack, and like it's just cool to see like 9 cannonballs come out of your ship, and you don't have to like you don't have to sit and stop the boat and mount the cannon. You just fire them on the move. It's really fun. You can kill mobs with it too. I killed some pirates with this. It's pretty fun.
Okay, now excuse my ignorance too, but have you, with the sea-traded content, have you done any research on that at all as well? Anfield, do you know anything more about what it has to offer?
No, well, I was gonna do that today, but people wanted to have me kill some sea monsters, so I did that instead. And then I had the GM summon Vel, but then the Vel bugged out, so now there's a bunch of like giant Vel area stuff next to Velia. But I haven't done the bartering thing. I just figured out how the sailors work. So you hire the sailors and then you equip them to the boat, and then
And how do they
have
help
like
you?
skills that I don't really understand how they work yet.
I
But
see.
but basically you anchor yourself on islands, and then you can have the sailors go out and explore the islands, which
Oh,
I guess
what?
gives them rest or something. And then yeah, they can find things, I think, as well.
Oh,
And
that's cool.
then there was a point where I was sailing around, although it's gone now, so I don't really understand how it works. But there was like some islands had specific bartering information about what they were trading between. So yeah, it seems like something that I'm gonna have to be explained like I'm 5 sort of thing, by someone that actually knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
But no, I mean it's fun. The sea monster hunting thing, the ships do take damage while ramming now, which is fine for me because I think ramming is stupid. But the cannons are really fun to use. They added basically personal sea monster hunt or sea monsters in like the actual normal area of the ocean that you can see, and then when you get to the Ross Sea, there's still normal sea monster hunting going on, I guess, that you can do. So yeah, I mean it could be really interesting. Go ahead.
Is all of the Margoria Ocean changing? Is it all getting the new like wind and stuff, or is it only certain parts?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
changing
the
the wind
whole thing.
mechanics and stuff as well.
Yeah, it's the whole thing.
Is that a noticeable change?
Yeah. So if there's currents, there's like tides and stuff, and then there's the wind, and basically they either help or hinder you. And if, for example, you can get a really strong wind, and honestly, the boats get so fast, or at least the Carrack ships do. I'm sure the other ships do too. But I'm sailing around on this thing, and it doesn't have any gear because they didn't give us any gear on this server. But even still, it's incredibly quick when it's actually got the wind up. So yeah, it makes a big difference. I'm not totally sure how it works, and the UI that they put with it is a little hard at first to understand. So, but yeah, no, it makes a big difference.
It's interesting to hear. I'm wondering how it's really going to all play out too. I guess we're going to have to see because we haven't seen it firsthand. And I'm kind of on the same boat as you, Choice. I'm not the type of player to jump on, the Korean servers or whatnot to see content in the future than to anticipate it coming here. I know some players play like that, but I don't know. I feel like it takes away from mine, but that sounds exciting to hear. because I don't know if I was necessarily excited for the ocean content in general, but I think the wind mechanics and all that other stuff that's going to be changeable, and the fact that we can upgrade our current Epherias and whatnot sounds cool. One thing I was discussing before that I wish they could do, and I don't know if it's something that they plan on implementing in the upcoming content, but I wish that I could take an old boat and sell it. Like, much like a horse, when you're done with your mount, you can post it to the horse market. When I'm done with a boat, like when I got an Etheria sailboat first, and then I built a frigate after. And I'm not going to use the sailboat anymore because I'm going to choose the frigate over it. I wish I could do something that could deconstruct that back into a license or something like that, and be able to post that back in the market, because I'm never going to use it again. And I don't know if having that kind of mechanic in the game would necessarily be a bad thing to help, other players who don't want to build necessarily, get their licenses. It'd be interesting to see in the upcoming content for the Great Sea Expedition if something like that was added. But talking about that, like how would something like that make you guys feel?
So you mean like being able to resell the boats?
Yeah, just being able to resell your boat. That's it.
I don't know if that's
so
a
why not?
great idea. I feel like a lot of people would end up just flooding the market with boats and they drop a lot in price. But maybe something that might be cool is if you could take your boat and like sell it to an NPC for 85% of the materials that it took to make back, and that way they're
like extracting
a
cameras.
frigate. Well, yeah, kind of like that. But like a frigate shares this to very similar materials as an Etheria. So if you're like, okay, I made this Etheria, but now I want to make a frigate. Well, you can just get back, the majority of what you put into your Etheria and then make it your other boat. That way, there wouldn't just flood the market with a bunch of licenses from people that have unused boats. And a lot of the materials that are used to make a boat, they don't sit on the market, and so that would be a great way to like supply that, I suppose, for a while.
It's a really interesting concept.
I think you want a sense of progression from whether it's your gear, your horse, or your boat, or whatever, right? So like if you make something and then it just becomes completely useless and you can't even like upgrade to the next level, that doesn't really feel great. So if there was some way to use the old boats or upgrade them or salvage them in some way, I think that would feel better.
Every boat now, every boat
Yeah.
now can be upgraded to these new ships, and even if you have a Bartali boat, the 10 million one, you can upgrade that
fine
one
then, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you can
If you
upgrade
can-
it,
if you
sure,
can
but I have
upgrade the
an
old boat.
Etheria and a frigate, so if I upgrade them, can I sell the upgraded?
That's a good question. I don't know how that would work. I assume that when you put an Etheria sailboat in and you upgrade it, you would then get the license for the new ship, which you could theoretically sell rather than register and use yourself.
Oh, do you?
but I'm not
So when you
100%
upgrade it,
sure.
you get a new license.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't. You either upgrade it and it gives you the new ship registered already, or it upgrades it and gives it the license.
I'm under the
I'm not
impression that it would
sure.
give you the new ship, but
Well, I did have specific licenses, so the licenses exist in the game. But then saying that, so do the Doom Horse, Pegasus, and
the
Unicorn
tokens, yeah,
registrations.
gotcha.
They exist as well, but there's no way to get them, right? So
Yeah. Good point. I guess we'll see.
yeah, no, everything can be upgraded, which is quite nice, actually.
And then we already have the new islands being added to the game that have been added to the game for us as well. Do we have any islands or anything on the map that we are currently missing that we can expect to see coming up here in the next few weeks? Was there anything that you noticed in the Great Sea content that was new that you haven't seen currently on EU?
Well, we have. I mean, there's islands that exist, but they don't have the content associated with them until we get the Great Expedition.
I
I
see.
think everything does exist already, at least for Great Expedition Part 1, but, non-interactable. But you can get there, I guess.
Has there
what I
been any
understand.
hint of the island at Port Rat opening up at all? Because I remember they talked about that like years ago, Mogoria Part 2, and like that whole continent has a foundation, but it's just all blocked off with invisible walls. Is there like any whiff that they're going to develop that, or are they just going to do the ocean and then go right back to Odalita or whatever they were doing before?
As far as I know, that's what they want to do.
Yeah, I would imagine they get done with our continent first before moving over to where Port Rat's at, aka is it Heso?
Hey, so yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'd be kind of cool because the world has shrunk a lot now that we all have Pegasus and stuff. I think it would be cool if there was a part of the game that was like really separate like that, like a true other content.
I think that'd be amazing. You have to travel
Mhm.
there by boat, like take a 20-minute trip. You used to have to take a 20-minute trip from Calfion to Valencia because we were all like
Oh,
riding
yeah.
on our, silly ass horses, and now you just fly over there in a Pegasus and you're there, right?
Even
Yeah,
going
but
to
I can
like
skip
Crescent Shrine the
Altanova.
first time used to feel like an adventure, you know what I mean? And now it's just like, oh, I've done this. This is a 2-minute run. Whatever.
Yeah, the world feels small, so it would be cool to have that. They could call it mists
Well,
of
yeah, things used to take so
BDO.
long to get to
Mhm.
that at grind spots you were literally taking wagons out to grind spots because it's like, okay, I'm going to be here a while and I
I
don't
need
want to have to
extra
travel back
storage.
and forth, right? So having that same feeling and maybe having some kind of upgraded mount would be really cool that had a bunch of storage, like make wagons more useful again.
Oh, dude, what about a
Bring
water
wagons
team?
back. Make wagons great again.
Yeah, that Wild West feeling kind of disappeared a little bit.
That's what was great about Valencia when it was first released, because we didn't have that much information flowing from Korea at that time, because it was harder to get that information, and also it was such a huge area that it really felt like new to explore. And you could get lost in Valencia, and it was crazy. It was, you didn't really get that. I mean, Camas Sylvia wasn't so bad, but Trigon was wow.
I mean, it
It
always
was like
looks
a
good.
2-day release. I feel like after 2 days, everything in Dragon was found out, talked about, easy to understand, explored, and done. And that's it. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I was literally watching quest guides on like how to get crystals on like an hour after it came out from Koreans. So it's the wonder is not there.
And the value of staying is not there. Because I think the one special thing with Kama is like, it was what it was. I thought it was exciting content, and it held value for staying there, and it held value for being there. And then that's kind of what I feel like a lot of us expected and hoped for Drigan. And it was going to be Kama 2, which was not. And then, so I guess, like, for me, I think this is why I'm like, just kind of like, oh yeah, like great expedition content, but like, I hope it's not gonna. I hope it'll be more impacting than Drigan, to say the least.
I go
hope
to
it offers more than
Dragon.
Drigan.
Yeah, I go to Dragon in one way, and that's logging onto an alt to chain lightning Garmoth like 4 times. Go get something to eat, get like 1 cronstone, and then I go elsewhere. And that's it.
You'd kill me. Layvan, when are you posting another YouTube video?
Leave me alone. This is about the podcast. You're talking about the game.
So that great expedition, huh?
They'll put yeah.
Well,
So like if you guys saw in the partner Discord, they're actually allowing us to have week early access to the Great Expedition here that's coming out. So
Oh,
I
cool.
don't know if you guys are going to take advantage of that, but
That's what I'm doing right now.
it's pretty much the same thing as the Shy release, where they had like a 1-week BDO partner thing where you can get on the server, test it out for a while. So we're finally getting a little bit of benefit from the BDO partner program. But
I'd have to strongly agree with that, man, because exclusive access to content so we can make stuff around it is awesome. I just don't know if this is the kind of stuff that it excites me. So after this, I'm gonna be tuning into to Anfield's stream, and I'm gonna be checking it out. Do you plan on playing it much longer past this podcast we're doing?
Probably not. I need to eat.
Okay.
But what I would say is this is a little bit better, because when we got the Shy, basically the only thing that was different from the global lab with that partner server with the Shy was that we could do the donkey stuff, right? So that was the only thing that was different. With this, at the very least, we're giving character ships. So like if you play the global lab, for example, let you get the upgraded ships, but they don't get the full tier ships like the character ships, right?
Okay.
All you get is the upgraded Etheria and sailboat and frigate. So it is a bit better. I actually asked for it. I told them to give us the carrack ships. So we have all the carrack ships, so you can go around and go on the big boy boats, which are super cool looking. So at least you can do that. So it is a little bit better. And I also asked for compass, so we have the compass and stuff to use when we're there. And we're Guru 36 sailing, so you can take screenshots of that and troll people that are sailing enthusiasts.
Guru 36.
why is such a specific number? Isn't it go to Guru 50?
It wasn't just that. It was also we were 30% into it on these characters they created for us, or something like that. So yeah,
I guess
it's
they
very random.
arbitrarily just entered an XP random number, and it's like that's what it is.
Since you're talking about XP,
Yeah.
I don't know if this is a foolish question, but I'm gonna ask it anyways. With these new ships and the new sea content, is the I guess we can't really tell if you're Guru 36. I question if the XP gained from sailing is different and has changed at all whatsoever. But I guess that's
I
hard.
think that sailing level and stuff like that is based off distance traveled, and so if these ships are faster
Oh,
and
yeah.
kind of a roundabout way, it's faster. But still, I think dailies are king.
That's
I
a good
mean,
You
point.
get XP from killing the new solo sea monsters.
Sailing
the
XP.
individual loot ones. I think so.
Oh, okay.
Isn't Guru 36 still literally insane?
That's
Yes.
like 500 years of sailing or
that's-
something.
Yeah,
That's
That's what I'm saying. I guess this is kind of a dumb question because it's hard to measure when you're Guru 36.
why would they even add a reward at that level? Is that not what it is? Like, I feel like it's like
It's
why
the
they're getting
account that
rid
would
of
be
the
passed
passes at
down from
level
generation to
it's
generation.
Actually, yeah, it's actually not attainable. Like you could
Oh,
play the game for
okay.
10 years and you wouldn't be close to that. Now, maybe if you get XP for killing the new stuff, maybe that changes. But under the current system, you can sail for 100 years before you hit Guru. Like,
Right.
it's
So if
not
they,
attainable.
that's what I'm saying. If they have a reward at that level, that's the most ridiculous thing I've heard in my life.
Oh, that's so good. Too good.
So I think with Guru sailing, isn't there like your cannons fire faster? I feel like that's going to be a huge
Yeah,
thing
test
for
that out.
the
See if
new
it
boats.
actually works.
Yeah, go ahead.
It does
I'll
work,
tune into
yeah.
the streams, Choice.
How much faster is that?
Hang on, let me fire. Need to actually hang on. Kind of
Grabs
cinematic
cannon.
view of the ship. All right, let's see.
Grabs cannonball,
Fire
arms
and
cannon,
then...
fires cannon.
If he's not blown away about how much faster it is, then I'm super under.
Are you still waiting for the
Okay,
relay?
yeah, I just
if
reloaded.
it's not literally,
Oh
Okay,
my
that's
god!
not that good. What the hell?
Get out of here! Fuck off!
That's actually pretty quick.
Yeah, but
really?
But keep in mind, this is different, right? This isn't I've mounted the cannons and I'm firing one cannon. This is 9 cannons. But also, I don't have any upgraded anything. I don't know if the sailors do it or the upgraded materials for the ship, like the equipment does it. But this isn't like mount the cannon and you fire, right? So, the cooldown actually definitely is faster than you would usually fire from a mounted cannon. So I mean, there's that, but.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to see. But I think there's ways to like artificially attain Guru through mastery, isn't there? So maybe just people will have a big reason to actually go for Guru now through mastery.
That's just mastery. I think you have to specifically be Guru, right?
Okay. I always thought there was a way that you could like kind of like artificially get Guru and have all the benefits of that just through mastery, but maybe I'm wrong about that.
It just says bullseye Guru 1 or up. Presumably you actually need the skill level of Guru. But yeah, I still don't. It's probably unobtainable even with the potential XP from. I'm pretty sure you get. Hang on, someone else is here. I need to go kill them real quick. Cue my Pirates of the Caribbean music. Oh, it's on.
Are we listening to naval combat about to happen?
Yeah, hang on.
Okay,
Hope I can catch.
I'm gonna let this slide. I want to know how this. I want to know how this
I'll
goes.
keep you updated. But yeah, continue.
Yeah, keep me updated. Well, we're actually close to wrapping up here. Honestly, this is everything and more that I had planned today. Someone just flagged on me and just died to a mob. That's a sad day. Otherwise, is there anything else that you guys have to contribute that maybe you wanted to bring up and didn't get a chance to necessarily mention?
I mean, it's off topic, but
Hit me,
I
please.
saw the BDO mobile arena for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Someone from stream showed me a couple days ago, and I think that would be something super cool if we had here. Some type of system you can queue into, whether it's rating or gear score or whatever.
I completely agree. We had this conversation previously, and I think it'd be really cool having a a matchmaking system. I think it'd be really cool having something where it just like let players off on a more blank canvas, closer to, you know, even fair, and being able to have more of like a legitimate ranking system, leaderboard, icon, and having people, you know, have a new excitement for having a purpose for shooting for such a goal, taking something that resets maybe, I don't know, every 3 months or every 6 months, having like different seasons for the leaderboards, giving people a chance to like enter when it's fresh and chase leaderboards and whatnot. I think it'd be super. I'm just surprised we don't have it. It just makes, to me, it makes too much sense to have.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know a lot of people wanted that, something similar to that for a very long time. I was just surprised to see like it's actually in mobile.
It's
And
a
if
thing.
it's already in mobile, like you know, are they working on it? Or if not, then why isn't that something that we have yet?
I
Well,
don't
to
know.
my understanding, the BDO team, Perlevis, what is it? I believe they only have 250 employees. So I mean, I would definitely
And those employees have
argue
time
that's
to make
it.
a battle arena on for mobile?
I think they're split between PS4, Xbox, PC, and all the different PC servers, and
Mhm.
also now mobile also. So they have like, they just don't have enough hands on deck in to stay in theme for the naval stuff. But that's the biggest thing that needs to change.
I'm hoping that after releasing this naval stuff, I'm assuming they're going pretty hard at it right now. And so once they release it, I really hope they just start focusing on more like group oriented content, you know, PvP between other players and, you know, game modes and stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, you know, you can keep on releasing content like Dragon, you can release a new grind spot, you can release new naval content, but at the end of the day, it's like the interactions that you have with other players that's gonna make the game the most fun, right?
Yeah.
And so if they could focus on doing that after this, then I think, you know, BDO would be in a very, very healthy state if they could, you know, just give us a few more things to do in terms of like player versus player stuff and interactions with your friends.
A few more things to do
Absolutely.
that were genuine, like that people can also be excited about.
I mean, has anybody ever actually asked you this question? Like, hey, hey, Choice, do you want to go? Do you want to go do something in BDO?
Yeah, that's like that doesn't
Like,
happen,
what?
right?
What are we gonna do?
When the Altar of Blood event was happening, it was like every single day, and I'm like, hell yeah, dude. And then now it's just like, okay, well, I'm just gathering wolves by myself.
I
I'm doing
missed
it by
that too,
myself.
man.
All right.
I seriously
Yeah.
missed that. I had buddies just, hey, yo, you want to do Altar of Blood? Nah, now's not a good time. But sooner or later, eventually.
Yeah.
So somebody brought up, what about the new family skill tree? Have you guys seen anything about that lately?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
So there's like this leak about a family. I don't know if it's a leak or it's some
It's
camera
on
No, no,
thing.
it's on the
Lab, I
global
think.
lab.
Oh, it is on
Yeah,
Global
yeah.
Lab? Okay, cool. So
Yeah.
this new Global Lab thing for a family skill tree. And to my understanding, which is limited, it's just you get monster kills and then you can choose between like 4 different trees that you can progress downwards. And you can get stuff like faster Black Spirit Rage generation. You can get like up to 5 sheet AP, 5 sheet DR, and then what was the last one?
Market percentage that you get back, like less
yeah.
tax.
So
Do we
market
know
tax.
for sure that it's sheet stats?
We do. I saw a GIF of somebody that was selecting between DR and AP, and it was going up on their sheet stats.
Oh wow.
I just got a question. Can free-to-play players have ghillies in any sort of way?
Not that I know
I
of.
don't think so, because I just found someone hacking and they're in a ghillie outfit, but their ghillie is showing their name, so I think they forgot to put all of it on. Uh-oh. Screenshot that. Uh-oh. That looks like that was someone's main account. Uh-oh. Anyways, how's that naval combat going?
I don't know. It's pretty close.
Guru
70%.
37, you still haven't killed him yet?
Well, it's got the same level as me, my guy.
I
Okay,
thought
he's
you
got
made
a
it.
lion on
What?
his phone.
He's got Guru 37 too. I thought you had the hookups with the GMs.
What do you mean, my
Well,
dude? I
so
didn't pick this
back to
random
the-
level.
I didn't realize that was sheet stats. Is it if it's for sure 5 AP and 5 DP on your sheet? I feel like that's kind of interesting because now we're getting to the point where there's so much free AP through that
Mhm.
Bartali and everything else that like, is the glass cannon meta just going to become even more extreme one-shotty, or are people finally going to start swapping out to DP accessories?
I feel
Well,
like
it's for yeah. Go ahead, Laven.
no, you can go ahead. I'll go after.
Okay. I mean, I was just gonna say, to me, all the sheet AP stuff is pretty much just direct buffs, or not necessarily buffs, but in kind of roundabout types of way, just makes evasion build so much better. Because when everybody's hitting so hard and you have so much AP and you have so many brackets, you're just chunking through everybody's DR. And so we're even seeing like one of the highest geared warriors on NA is switching to evasion. Like Zethian is switching to evasion because of recent changes to just the way that the metas are shifting. And I feel like they're just giving too much free AP, and people are able. It is now officially possible with, with Tet distortion earrings, especially coming out and all this free AP to hit 309 AP with a Kudamon now. And so by being an evasion build, you're still able to reach the max AP bracket. So I feel like either they need to perhaps change, they need to like add more ways of getting tankier, because they're just adding so much AP that evasion's really the only way to go. And players are now, just like Moreland was kind of suggesting, like if you can reach certain very important AP brackets really easily now, maybe players are starting to switch to DP accessories. But the problem is it has to really be evasion, because evasion just scales so much better than DR. So
Have you looked into Shiny's numbers around DR? Did you go through that document he put out a few weeks?
I did look at it. I was kind of waiting for his calculator to come out, but my observation is, if I put on 20 more DR versus, say, I had a Pen Kadri ring, for example, that 20 DR is not really that noticeable. Like,
Yeah,
it's
so that's
there,
actually what
but
his calculations are showing, is that there seems to be a ceiling built into DR where the more you have, the less effective it becomes. And obviously with evasion, the opposite is true. The more you have, the more effective it becomes, because of just the way that percent missing works.
yeah,
So it's almost like they have this ceiling on DR from 2016 or 17, where they didn't want, super whales to be literally, invincible, only taking 1 damage, but then they just
true.
never updated the formula or something, because now everyone has 280, 290 AP, and DR is falling off the way that it did 2 or 3 years ago, and it just doesn't, evasion seems to be the only stat that really matters now for defense.
Yep.
Yeah, like even classes like mine that really don't have any evasion bonuses whatsoever, you can notice like evasion is actually viable at the amount of DP I'm at. And it's kind of a little bit annoying in a sense to know that even though I'm building the right stat for my class, I'm not really benefiting as much as I could be by building the complete wrong stat for my class based on just character stats and the buffs I get from DR and stuff,
I
Yeah, I
completely.
feel the same way about Warrior. Like, I'm supposed to be one of the few classes in the game that actually scales with DR, and it's like, well, where is that? Even if I put Cadger rings on, it doesn't matter. I still just get put to the ground by archers and siege like before they even load on my screen.
Yeah. With me jumping in, like that's exactly what I was going to be saying. Choices like, so with me being consistently targeted or like easily targetable in open world, I had a DP build. Like for a long time. I mean, I was focusing on evasion
This is Layvan
for,
early days.
yeah. So like I had a DP build for open world to just keep myself safe, for being like semi AFK or whatever the fuck. And I've been focusing on evasion for years now, for like a year, probably about like a year flat, year and a half. The point is, so I had a build where I was like 385 DP, and ignorant me, I was like, wow, this is so much DP. I'm definitely going to be safe from, most people, blah, 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 blah. And then it kind of hit me, and I didn't have like half of my gear on, and somebody was trying to do damage to me. I had like roughly 330 DP, but they were doing pretty much the same amount of damage to me if I had pretty much like 380 sheet DP over just 330. The difference was completely negligible because all that DP I had on was DR. And then I've noticed over time, Yeah, exactly what you said. Again, I'm just reiterating what you said, but agreeing with it is evasion stacks upon itself and is very much accumulative. And it just keeps getting better and better and better and better and better and better. And it doesn't stop.
Yeah,
And you
I mean,
used to
I
have to.
physically.
Sorry.
Oh, go
Sorry,
ahead,
just with
continue.
this last point. You used to, exactly with all this free AP, if you wanted evasion, and the big reason why people didn't go evasion back then also is because people didn't want to sacrifice AP. I mean, rightfully so, because they wanted to, because Hysteria was like, nobody could even grind Hysteria. Like, Hysteria was untouchable. People used to party up for Augment and grinds. And if you wanted to go evasion, you'd have to sacrifice AP, and that means a tremendous amount of less money. But now, I mean, even right now, we have how many free AP brackets? Two? Like, two free AP brackets, I think. And then another one on the way with this family fame. So
And
now
we also
you're
get the AP from Divs as well. It's coming out.
yeah, that's right. So you're okay. I'm using these evasion earrings. Well, I have like 12 free AP. Fuck it. I'm totally willing to stack some more evasion. That just gets better and better. I'm at 700 evasion. Good luck hitting me. Like, honestly, good luck. Like, so, and I can still one combo you too, by the way, because I have all this free AP brackets. If you're at 269 AP, I mean, you can do a tremendous amount of damage because of the brackets.
Yeah, like I used to have a DP set as well, Layvan, and it was for the most part focused on DR. And I had like 470 DP when I was done with it. It was like full TED accessories,
I remember
and
that.
I had,
Mm-hmm.
as I was thinking, like, man, I've got basically like way beyond soft cap in DP. I should be like some kind of a demigod for goodness sake in PvP.
Mm-hmm.
Not really. 380 DR just doesn't really feel that great when even against back in the day when I had it, when people are 270 AP and they're hitting that bracket, like you get 2-3 people on you and you're instantly dead. So I ended up selling it purely because of that. And you can even tell, right? So I currently have like 340 DR just in my AP set. I pop a whale tendon, which brings me up to 460 DR. I still get pretty melted, like that. If you build a full DR set right now, in terms of like being a DP build, that is about what you would be at, is like 470 DP, very end game. And it still blows up compared to somebody that's got like, a couple of sealed magical earrings. They got a Sissels on, like they're still like hybrid AP and still tankier than you. It's kind of crazy how poorly DR just scales in general.
Do you think any of that reason has to do with because the DP brackets stop at 346 as well?
Well, here's the
Well,
thing. That
that's-
DP bracket's just
yeah.
that's 20% reduced damage. It's not 20% more DR.
Yeah, that's another thing that Shiny just found with a test, is that that's not actually scaling your DR like we all thought it did. So the idea was you get a whole bunch of DR, you get 348 or whatever it is sheet DP, and then you get a 20% bonus to that. But that's not how it works. The 20% damage reduction is just its own form of mitigation, and it doesn't multiply your DR at all.
That figures. Okay.
Yeah, so any hit that happens to go through an evasion build is only doing 80% effective damage if you hit 346. And also, like, kind of Shiny and I were spitballing a little bit. If they changed it over so it was 20% more DR, a standard evasion build is still sitting in the neighborhood of like 270 DR compared to mine, which is sitting at 340. It's really only a matter of about 14 extra DR. And from what I've just been saying about how whale pots don't really help that much, you can imagine how 14 DR is kind of laughable, even if they did switch that over. So fundamentally, they need to like either have it scale somehow better, like remove that arbitrary cap or whatever seems to be on it, or make DR classes have the same sort of percentage bonuses that like strikers and mystics and ninjas and all these classes that have like smoke screen 18%, stuff like that. If we had percentage based bonuses on DR, then that'd be a lot more significant.
Yeah, that'd be really interesting.
Okay I'm gonna call it here, guys. I appreciate you guys joining this conversation this week. It's very easy to talk to you guys. I appreciate everyone taking the time out of their day to join as well. If you guys enjoyed this conversation, make sure you give this video, if you're listening to it, a like. Put an / in the chat, in any Twitch chat you're in, just cuz. And if you guys enjoyed the guests we had, please take the time to check out their social media links in the description down below, which I will include. If you guys want to take a look at any of the previous episodes that we've done and hosted, all the info cards will be provided in, or all the episodes will be provided in the info cards at the top right. I can say words. And if you want to check out any of the other people here, their information will also be included in the description down below. Guys, thanks so much for joining us today, and we'll see you next time.